Hi, I'm Sherri Haab, craft book author and jewelry designer, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to transfer your own personal photos and images onto a variety of surfaces using a transfer medium called ITS. This medium allows you to transfer toner-based images onto surfaces such as sheet metal, metal clay, faux bone, unglazed tile, sea glass, and many other surfaces. It's really fun to use, so let's get started and I'll show you how to transfer your images. ITS works by transferring a toner-based image to a surface with the use of heat. After heat setting, the paper is removed, leaving only the toner behind. And in this example, on this copper necklace, you can see the copper shining through where the paper once was, and only the toner on the surface, giving you a nice soft look to your image. For the first step, you will need to prepare images, and we have some images prepared here, nice bright images printed on ITS paper. And ITS paper is the best paper to use because it removes without leaving fibers behind, which gives you a nice smooth finish to your final product. Make sure when you print your own images to print them nice and dark, and remember it needs to be a laser copier, not an inkjet printer, so that's something to remember. Now, to prepare our surface, I have a blank here. This is an ITS blank, and to begin with, this pewter is nice and smooth, and your image will have a hard time sticking to the surface, so we have to roughen it up a bit and give a tooth to the surface. And to do that, we can use either 600 or 400 grit paper, sanding paper, and sand the surface really well to give it a nice matte aluminum looking finish that's not shiny, and that will be great for our surface. And then clean this with a little rubbing alcohol to clean this dust off the surface, and now you're ready to apply your image. After sanding your image and preparing it, you're ready to add your image. And I start by cutting my image to fit the blank. Make sure that your edges match, and then you won't see any edge where the ITS trails off. So I've got my image cut to fit, and all it takes is a small drop. And the secret is not putting it on too thin or too thick. So we have a little drop of ITS there, and you need to work quickly. And you brush on an even coat, just about like that. You don't want to brush it too thin. And then you take your image face down, tack it and press down with some good pressure and burnish that paper on very well, making sure that there are no bubbles and that all of the paper is very flat to the surface. It's okay if a little comes over the edge. Now you're ready to heat set your image, and you can do this one of two ways. You can bake it in an oven, or you can use an embossing heat tool that they use for rubber stamps. In the first instance, if you're using a surface such as metal, glass, or tile, you can bake it at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 30 minutes, or if you use polymer clay or faux bone, don't bake any higher than 275 degrees Fahrenheit or you will burn the plastic. By using a heat gun, it only takes about a minute, and what you're looking for is just the paper to yellow just the slightest bit, and then you'll know that it's been heat set long enough. After heat setting, let your piece cool, and then you're ready to remove the paper. Soak it in water for at least 10 minutes, but it can be longer. And this is the exciting part so that you can see your image revealed. And I start from the center out with your fingernails as your best tool, and just start to roll the paper off carefully, starting from the center out. And you should see just paper coming off and not the image. If you do, it's not a worry. You can always sand it off and start over. Just may take a little bit of sanding, and then you can apply your image and try it again. So we're rolling that off. And you can see that comes off nicely. You may have to re-dip a few times. This is actually the most important part, is how you take the paper off. You will notice I lost a little corner here, and it may not matter. It may be a nice lost and found edge so I can see a little metal peeking through, but if the cat's face were to come off, I may need to try it again. Most of the paper will come off just using your fingers, but to get the rest of these fibers off that look kind of foggy on the surface, I need to use a sanding paper, and I use this 1200 grit soft sanding cloth to remove the remaining fibers. So you can work pretty aggressively at this point and just sand away, and that will get those fine fibers that are trapped on that surface off, and you will start to see the image more clearly beneath. After all of the paper fibers are removed, the piece should feel perfectly smooth. And now you're ready to make this into a finished piece of jewelry. This is a photo, a black and white photo that was applied to silver metal clay after it was fired, and you can see how soft the grays are of this black and white image when applied to silver. This image was applied to faux bone, and faux bone is a perfect surface for ITS. The image adheres very nicely, and you can see that after we applied the image, it was set in fine silver for a finished look. Here's an example of ITS applied to sea glass, and the nice thing about sea glass is it already has a rough surface, so no sanding is needed before applying the image. This is a vintage bee image that was applied to unglazed tile. Imagine using this idea with family photos. In addition to using ITS just for images, you can also use it to make your own glass and metal paints. In this example, I made these beads out of fine silver clay, and after the silver clay was fired and finished, I painted the surface using ITS mixed with pigment powder. After applying the paint, I heat set it using a rubber stamp embossing tool, which gives it a nice durable finish. After you've completed your project and you want to add a little bit more durability to the surface, you can brush on a little ITS matte or gloss sealer. This is a baked on finish that helps protect against wear and tear and scratching. ITS is available in a kit form. It comes with a generous amount of ITS to do plenty of images, and also blank sheets that are ready for you to print your own images onto. And then if you'd like to use ready-to-go images, we have our ITS collage sheet collection with many images to choose from. So have fun and enjoy making your own jewelry using ITS.